My friend had to pay the burglar $6,000. Is that justice?
No. I'd have got him 10.
He couldn't even help himself. Today we're going to be breaking down Liar Liar. It's a Jim Carrey show, hence I brought my big old cup. And Liar Liar is fantastic. It's iconic, and you kind of got to cut through a lot of Jim Carreyism to get to some of the stuff that really matters to us on a ground roots level. And it's kind of fun to break this down through a legal lens. And so let's get into it. I'm excited to do this particular video today because it's a classic. It's Liar Liar, Jim Carrey, and we're going to start with a scene that is, in my opinion, kind of the beginning of the build-up to where he can't lie. And he's been trying his whole entire career as an attorney to lie his way through, to fudge, to skim, to scam, to spin, and now he can't lie because his son made a birthday wish. And so let's dive in and let's take a peek at it.
Maybe you should just take a few days off.
Greta, didn't it seem weird to you that I kept telling the truth all morning?
Yeah, but... What are you saying, that you are incapable of lying?
That's right! I am incapable of lying!
Just for today?
Apparently till 8:15 tonight. It's one of those 24-hour curses.
Oh, yeah, those are going around.
You don't believe me,
That
do
didn't
you?
look good.
Of course not.
How ironic.
Okay, so that's his paralegal.
Ask me something.
So Greta here is kind of his bread and butter. She's going to test him right here to see if he can lie or not.
Thing you think I would normally lie about.
All right. Remember a couple of months ago when I wanted a raise?
Forget it. I don't want to do this.
And the company wouldn't give me one. And
Greta,
I asked you would give it to me out of your own pocket. And you said the company would not allow it because it would create jealousy among the other secretaries. Now, was that true, or did you just not want to pony up the dough?
Greta, please! Hello, Judge Stevens,
so obviously
hi!
she did not
Fletcher
get the
Reed, I'm
raise.
scheduled to be in your court in half an hour. Judge Stevens, I badly need a continuance. Ill? Am I ill? That is the perfect question for you to ask. Greta, please lie on for me.
I remember when you bought me this antique silver frame from Tiffany's. Tiffany's.
Garage sale, $6.50 marked down from 10.
I'll give you the raise.
Here's your raise.
Kind of
Hi, Judge Stevens. Yes, I know.
So we all know that honesty is the best policy, but this kind of sets up the way that this is going to happen. Earlier in this movie, which we're going to see in just a minute, he meets a client, and he's going to be impressing his bosses because he's it appears that he's been practicing law for a minute. I'd say probably somewhere between 7 to 8 years, long enough to get divorced, hose everything in his life over, and pretty much have a pretty difficult go of it. And we're going to kind of look at it. He's going to learn a few things that you don't have to lie, you don't have to spend, you don't have to really do the chicken on a hot tin roof, but he has to learn it through this curse that he has for 24 hours. So that's why I kind of wanted to start there, but I kind of like what happens here in just a second.
No, I haven't given you an answer yet, but illness could mean so many things. Can you hold? Hello? Mom! Hi! I wasn't really on vacation. Because I didn't want to talk to you. I guess you insisted on talking to me about Dad's bowel movement, size, color, frequency. I'll call you later.
All things are
Oh, damn it! I cut him off. I cut off the judge!
that dynamic.
Oh, Greta, don't leave! I'm on my knees in a $900 suit!
Mr. Reed, several years ago, a friend of mine had a burglar on her roof. A burglar. He fell through the kitchen skylight, landed on a cutting board on a butcher's knife, cutting his leg. The burglar sued my friend. He sued my friend, and because of guys like you, he won. My friend had to pay the burglar $6,000. Is that justice?
No. I'd have got him 10.
Goodbye, Mr. Reed.
No, wait, I didn't understand the question. Ask me again,
I love the subtlety here because every one of these types of legal movies has real legal and frankly here you've got kind of the soul of an attorney on the line right here. I would have got him more. I would have got him more. I would do better. Bigger wreck, bigger check, yada, yada, yada. You see him pounding their chests all the time. He just did it. He couldn't even help himself. I'd have got him 10. He's telling the truth. He said, is that justice, is what she asked. No, he could have left it right there. However, I could have got him 10. But nonetheless, let's carry on. Let's see what a fella can do not telling a lie in court, but let's see who he's representing first.
I found him like this in the bathroom, Your Honor. Somebody beat the hell out of him.
Who did this?
A madman, Your Honor! A desperate fool at the end of his pitiful rope!
Now
What did he
remember,
look like?
cannot lie. So he's
About
a
6'2", 180 pounds, big teeth, kind of gangly.
Bailiff, have the deputy search the building.
Yes, sir.
just describe himself as
Order! Order! Under the circumstances, I have no choice but to recess this case until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Unless, of course, you feel you can still proceed. Can you?
Yes!
I admire your courage, Mr. Reed. We'll take a short recess so that you can compose yourself and then...
All right, so this is the first time in the movie that he actually gets a little favor with the judge. And in family law, there is no jury. So there's just a judge. And the judge makes the call, okay? The judge is calling balls and strikes. He is the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to a family law case. So the judge is very, very important here. We're going to take a little bit of a different approach here, but we're going to keep watching it from this point. I like it. She has nothing, mouth. He's hung himself.
No questions.
I mean, he's pretty much duped. His
You may
client's
step there.
duped. There's his partner. This is the part where everybody
Do
needs to
I
pay
dare
attention.
ask you to call your next witness?
I have no further witnesses, Your Honor.
What are you doing? Call me.
You do not understand. I can't lie. I can't do anything dishonest until 8:15 tonight.
Listen, you bastard. I want my money. I am not going to end up a 31-year-old divorcee on welfare because my scumbag attorney had a sudden attack of conscience.
That's a good pep talk.
If Mr. Reed has no further witnesses,
this.
then
Hold on.
I have no
Now.
choice but to rule in...
Okay, he's about to rule in favor of Dad. But what you see Jim Carrey doing right there is, for the first time, he's rifling through a bunch of papers. First time. That's what he's doing. What we call in the industry research. Research typically is important. Research is typically what judges base their decisions on. It's also what juries end up deliberating. It's called information. Well, he's so used to being smooth and kind of creating drama and creating hours and billables, it doesn't matter. You know, the facts are just, you know, who cares about the facts, right? But here, all of a sudden, he's rifling through the facts because he can't lie. He can't rely on his usual run-of-the-mill, fake it till you make it type thing. Let's see what happens.
favor of...
Your Honor!
Just about to rule.
I call Samantha Cole to the stand.
Order. Order! Order!
Knock it off!
Sit down! Mr. Reed, it is out of sheer morbid curiosity I'm allowing this freak show to continue. Mrs. Cole, if you dare.
We'll see what a little bit of research that could have been done, maybe at the very beginning of this case. This case would have settled. They never would have been sitting there.
Mrs.
Here we go.
Cole,
Let's see what happens.
is this a copy of your driver's license?
Simple enough to look at one of those.
Yes.
It says here you're a blonde, are you? If you don't remember, perhaps Mr. Falk will.
Brunette.
We can play the tape again. Maybe it's on there.
I'm a brunette.
Thank you. Now let's see. Weight 105? Yeah, in your bra.
Your Honor, I object.
You would!
Bastard!
Hey!
Quiet! Overruled. Wait.
We can talk about those types
118.
of relationships.
All right, fine. I'm 127.
Uh-huh. And it says here you were born in 1964, but that's not true either, is it? Is it?
No.
Can you tell me what it says here on your birth certificate under date of birth?
Your Honor, I object. What does this have to do with anything?
Overruled. Mrs. Cole, answer the question.
1965.
Now, let me get this straight. That would mean that you lied about your age to make yourself older. But why would any woman want to do that?
I changed it so I could get married.
And the truth shall set you free. My client lied about her age. She was only 17 when she got married, which makes her a minor. And in the great state of California, no minor can enter into any legal contract without parental consent, including
Prenuptial agreement.
prenuptial agreements. This contract is void. The fact that my client has been ridden more than Seattle slew is irrelevant. Standard community property applies, and she is entitled to half of the marital assets, or $11.395 million. Jordan fades back, swoosh, and that's the game. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, so opposing counsel knows they're done, duped, hosed, because she couldn't enter into that contract. That's something that should have been found out literally within the first hour of representing this person. And once that's found out, you saw the demeanor of the opposing counsel as they realized, oh snap, this is not going to fly in court, and this prenuptial agreement is not going to be valid, and therefore the community property rules are going to apply. You guys all heard that. Okay. So here, a little bit, okay, it wouldn't have been nearly as fun to watch him not beat himself up. It wouldn't have been nearly as fun as him not being able to not lie. It wouldn't have been nearly as fun to see any of these dramatics if he would have just put on some reading glasses and, been boring. However, his client would have been advised. His client and the father of the children would have been able to resolve something that was fair and reasonable, likely, with all likelihood, because you could see the demeanor on that opposing counsel's face, and the fella that be her ex-husband doesn't seem to be playing a villainous type fellow. So it looks like they would have come to something. Instead, we have a full-blown war, and we have a full-blown attorneys taking all. And let's see the response to who is the biggest winner. There you go. Biggest winner.
Order!
The owner of the firm. Biggest winner.
In light of this new evidence, the court must rule in favor of Mrs. Cole. She is hereby awarded half the marital assets.
The son of a bitch pulled it off. I didn't know she was underage.
Doesn't matter, the contract's void.
Order. Order. I understand both parties have agreed to joint custody. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
No! I'm contesting custody.
What?
If I get sole custody of the kids, that's another 10 grand in child support payments.
You just won $11 million.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to make one brief comment on this. The moment he told her that she was a victim in his office and started on this whole crusade that she should have more than what she's entitled to, began this moment. Now the kids are pawns. Now she wants more money for custody purposes, even though she admitted to him that he's a good father. He just verified that. So, kind of an interesting dynamic wherein, okay, it's a lot of vaudeville going on here, a lot of overacting, a lot of crazy train Jim Carrey, what do you expect? And he's fantastic, especially the first time you see this. It's an amazing movie. That said, the underlying tone here is do some bloomin' research. Look up, okay, know your client's date of birth. Know, okay, there is a contract in play here that's called a prenuptial agreement. How old they were when they entered that contract probably should have been known very early on, and then communicated to opposing counsel, and then figured out, and yada, 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 and you don't have all this hoopla going on. Also, what goes under the radar there is you have children in the mix, and these children are attached, unfortunately, they're kind of the biggest losers here. And they're attached to both parents, and the better they get along, the better things turn out for them in life. And so I doubt that this mom and that father want to be visiting their children in prison or rehab or, you know, making their lives unduly harsh. That's just not what they want to be doing. But that is oftentimes what emotion will do when it's taking control and when it's manipulated. And a lot of attorneys tend to manipulate that emotion into dragging things out a little bit so they can make their Beamer payment or they can make their cabin payment. Whatever the case might be, it is what they tend to do, and it becomes kind of habit forming. You want someone to tell you straight what the scenario is, and usually you know it pretty quickly. Usually though, that information is known very early on, and if you don't have someone that's paying attention and telling you some things that you don't like, then you might be with the wrong someone. You need to be with someone that's going to tell you this is roughly what it's going to be. And sometimes the truth is going to hurt a little bit. But you know what? There's nothing you can do about it, because that judge doesn't care if you're fat or not. That judge doesn't care what size shoe you wear. That judge doesn't care about anything about your life. He just cares, or she, they just care what's right, what's fair, what fits. That's all they're looking for. And you can kind of fight that a little bit. You can start moving that needle, but where the damage is done, or frankly, where the damage is actually undone, is resolving these things when it can be resolved early on. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, ring that notification bell, subscribe. I love doing this. See you next time.